Good evening and welcome. This is Bob Pace and Danielle. Um, we're co hosting the Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children podcast. It's broadcast right now from California, but Danielle has joined me, and she is from Georgia, Athworth, Georgia, I think it is.
That's right.
And she is co hosting me the show tonight. And I'm going to go over a couple of the ground rules here, how they interact with this show. It's great to have a second person bounce things around. I want to tell you that the first way you can interact is with texting. If you want to ask a question about CPS or about your case, or you want to comment about CPS, we'd love to have your comments. All you have to do is text a message at the bottom of your screen. It should show you because you found us on Facebook. We're broadcasting on YouTube, and we're using the StreamYard application. I can have up to 9 people at a time on this podcast. I have another co-host that might join us, Faye from Kentucky, but I know that she was dealing with air conditioning today, so it may be still messy there. But I love everybody. Now we already have someone text in. Cindy Richards. Welcome, Cindy.
Mm-hmm. Welcome.
She says, I'm broken, depleted, lost, and given up hope of all aspects of CPS, YFA, DFCS. Have all legally kidnapped my kids and are adopting them out, and nobody is on my kids' sides to help or listen. Well, gee, Carol, that is really sad. You come to the right place. You got 2 people that know firsthand about CPS and how they work.
Where is she from?
Yeah, I want to know what city and state you're from there, Cindy. And I know you're very devastated, but don't worry about CPS. We can help you out there. It's not the end of the world. You're from Florida. Great. Are you from northern Florida, southern Florida? She's from
Inverness. I know where that's.
Inverness, Florida. That's a new one. I guess it's somewhere there.
Inverness. Kind of south.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now we got Frederick Connie. Hello. Have you ever heard of grandparents file
Orlando? Yes.
Motion to intervene with the first 90 days of a case? Not really grandparents unless they are custodian of the children. Grandparents are treated really bad in CPS, and they really don't have anything to say, which is sad. These grandparents are important to the children too.
And a lot of in America, a lot of grandparents are the ones. They did a study on that, and there's a lot of the kids go to grandparents a lot of the times, and they do get. What does he mean by motion to intervene within the first 90 days? What?
Well, she says when grandparents make a motion in the court, dependency court. I imagine if you got an attorney, which will help, they will be able to determine whether you can make a motion or not. Frederick, Connie, what city and state are you from? We know that Cindy's from Inverness, Florida, near Orlando. So welcome, Cindy, and not to give up hope. If you want to, and then Cindy says they wrongfully, what'd they say?
Stopped all visits with my kids. My youngest was 3 months. She is 4 years almost now, and I've seen her one time since they took them.
Oh, that's sad. That's sad, Cindy.
So,
we'll try to help you out there. Frederick is from Boston, Massachusetts. I just had someone from Boston, Massachusetts, who her mother lives in Rhode Island, and she was in the hospital and left her kids in Boston, Massachusetts. Left her with her mother in Rhode Island, and the social workers from the state of Massachusetts drove over state lines to kidnap
Oh wow.
her children there with her mother in Rhode Island. And that is appalling that
Wow.
they would go over their jurisdiction. They're not supposed to do that.
Wow.
That was really sad.
No. Wow.
That was a no-no. That was a no-no. So anyway, I'm glad the textings work. That's good. You can make emojis like on the top screen, hearts and thumbs up, and those kinds of things are welcome. Also, you write to text the comments, and I will and Danielle will try our best to answer them. So that's one way. Another way you can interact with the show is that you can call in right now and be a guest with the two of us and talk about your case. And you just dial 626-698-0990. That will reach my phone number. And
Yes, Cindy, it's very disheartening, and it's just don't give up. Always, let's always fight for our children. They are our future, and they depend on us, and
right. So if
I
any
can
of
relate with you.
Yeah, if any of you that right now have texted in that would like to talk with us, I can put my speakerphone on and you can talk with us. You won't be seen on the camera or be actually on the show talking, but you'll be with us on the show. And you're perfect welcome to call in. And that's at 626-698-0990. That's another way you can interact. Now, if you want to talk on the show and be a guest on the show, you can email my producer. Her name is Grace. She does a lot of hard work. I want to thank her. She makes all the arrangements and everything. But her email is grace@vincentwdavis.com. Looks like we got our first Connie. Okay. Welcome. Is this Cindy Richards?
Frederick.
Oh, okay. Hi. You're from Boston, Massachusetts. Welcome, Frederick Connie. You're on the podcast talking live on my speakerphone. Everybody can hear you. And you can go ahead and talk about your case if you want to start from the beginning, and we'll ask you questions.
Yeah, they did an emergency removal for my daughter. The police did. They filed a 518 on me, and the caseworker did the interview for the 51B. And right now, I have my 72-hour hearing on the
12th of May.
On June 3rd. What's that?
That's the 12th of May is your hearing?
No, June 3rd is my hearing, my second hearing. I have my 72-hour hearing already, and my second hearing is June.
Now, how did they approach you? Did they come to your home? Did they call you to knock on your door?
They came to my vehicle. Someone called that I left my child in my vehicle when I went to the restroom. So they got me for neglect.
Yeah, you can't really leave a child alone in a car, that's for sure. And so, now who came? Was it CPS or the police?
It was the police.
Okay. So the police came. Was there a social worker with them?
No, what they did was they transported my daughter to the hospital with me, and that's when the caseworker met us there.
Okay. So they intervened because your child was left unattended in the car. Was it?
Yeah.
Did you know about
It was
that?
only for 10 minutes, though.
Yeah, but see that the law is that anytime a child is left alone, they can be reported right away to CPS. Now, what about
he?
Yeah. What about your wife? Where was she?
My wife passed away. It's just me. I'm a single father.
Oh,
Bless
so
her
sorry to hear that.
Bless your heart.
Yeah.
Did they give you the option or any time to maybe have a relative get the maybe possibly get the child for like a?
I have relatives in Michigan, and I had the judge granted me an expedited interstate compact, and the judge gave them
Interstate ICPC.
19 days to have it done, and it got done. So now DCF wants to do another interstate compact to my family in Tennessee. So it's going to hold the process up. So right now my daughter's in a temporary custody. My daughter's with temporary custody with a temporary foster family.
Well, let's back up a little bit. Let's back up. So they took the child, and where did they take the child and you to the hospital?
Yeah, they called the ambulance, and the ambulance took me and my daughter to the hospital. That's how they got the remove. The police officer.
Right. I know that, but was your
mandated,
child
yeah.
in those 10 minutes? Was your child overheating? I mean, why did they transport her?
No. The window
So
was
they
down,
just were making a scene.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So they take you to the hospital. Then what did they do?
The caseworker came, and she tried to interview me, and I told her I wanted an attorney to be represented before she interviewed me, and she forced me into an interview and said I can't do that.
Well, you can ask for an attorney.
Yes,
you
you
can
can.
certainly do that. That's one of the things that gives you a little bit of time, that you need to speak to your attorney, which is, I'm glad you said that,
And
because,
she wouldn't allow.
well, it doesn't care what she doesn't
And I
allow.
didn't want to take my daughter anyway. I didn't want to.
She's going to take your daughter.
Big case.
She's going to take your daughter in custody because you neglected your daughter by leaving alone in the car for 10 minutes. So she's going to take your daughter no matter what.
Yeah.
She would take it even if you did talk to her. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to talk to her. You say you have your rights. You just say very nicely is that I understand that you're alleging that I left my daughter alone. I need to speak to my attorney first. I will get back to you.
Right.
And meanwhile, she'll take the daughter into custody. Now, you said that you had, did you have a safety meeting where you can put them with a family friend?
I
A family
didn't have
member.
your friends out here in Boston because I'm just out here working. I'm not a resident.
Okay, but what about you said you had a family in Michigan, right?
Yeah, and I tried to get Boston to send my daughter to Michigan, but she needed my mother needed to be here in Boston so that they would have placed her with her then. But I'm not a resident of Boston, so I had to do the interstate compact.
Right.
And
I
they did it within 2
I
weeks.
see.
Okay, but then your daughter now is with your mother in Michigan?
No, she's in temporary foster care here because my mother isn't from Massachusetts. I had to have a relative here or a friend in Boston for them to put her with a relative or friend.
That's not
I didn't
true.
know that here.
That's not true.
They're trying to keep.
They're trying to keep your child. Go ahead. I'm going to have I'm going to have Danielle talk to you about this. Go ahead. She's really familiar with ICPC. Go ahead, Danielle.
You should have been able to get your child, and ICPC can be it could be a long process, but for them to be in that moment, I don't understand why Boston is not letting your child go to Michigan where your family members are. If you got family more than willing to take the child during all this, especially with you not be, so have you called ICPC in Boston or Massachusetts?
Yeah, it's already done. Already done. What?
So what's holding? What would?
Which I think is illegal. They're trying to get another ICP done in Tennessee.
Who's it?
Why in Tennessee?
ICP for Michigan, expedited, and I got that, and it's done. It's been approved.
Okay, what's in?
My place has been inspected by the other social services there. Everything.
And it sounds like
it's Boston trying to play their
Boston's the one not approving it.
Right? They want to file one in Tennessee.
Well, what's in Tennessee for you? What's in there?
I got my father in Tennessee, but I don't want to go to Tennessee. I don't want my daughter to go to Tennessee. I want to go to Michigan.
Have they?
Okay. And what is their reason for not sending them to Michigan? What's their reason?
They said they got to get the interstate compact done for Tennessee too, and the judge did not say that. She specifically said Michigan, and
Yeah.
Exactly. It's all about money, because there should be no reason why yours.
Once she goes to Michigan, Boston don't get money for her anymore. So what I
Right.
was doing is I found out that there's a form that my mother could fill out called
Yes.
motion to intervene. And
Yes.
a lot of people don't
And within
know
90 days
grant.
of your case.
What's that?
Yeah, Darlene saying
Within
within
90
90
days of
days.
your case. Right?
That motion
Is
to
that-
intervene.
So I still have exactly like 67 days left. So we're filing. My mother's going to file that this week.
Okay.
The motion to intervene. So what that does is it gives her access to the case, and DCF
Right.
can't compete with that.
Right. And you do have a court order, like you said, the judge did approve for her to go to Michigan.
They stopped the turn. So let me tell people, man, when you got your kids, you got to get rid of that attorney.
Well, no, you don't want to take a
Right.
public defender. A public defender is worthless because they don't know about the dependency law or family law, and they have a caseload of maybe 30 cases. They can't handle it. They're in cahoots with the court. They're in cahoots with the social service attorneys. They're no good. You just don't want to take them. You need to get a professional.
Let me tell you what he did.
Okay.
He didn't contact me until 12 hours before my court hearing, and I haven't heard from him since. So what I did was I had him remove himself from my case because I could never get a hold of him. As soon as I asked him to remove himself from my case, he calls me. And I've been reaching out to him every single day because I hired a new attorney.
Good.
So the attorney I hired now, he's been doing DCM cases for 47 years.
Good.
So he's one of the best in the state.
Good to hear that.
That's good. Because I'm telling you, with ICPC, and my mother had guardianship of my son, and she passed away unexpectedly in 2022. And it's been like my mother.
You guys speak up a little bit if you can.
Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, my mother passed away in 2022, and she had Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me or no?
Yes.
Okay, so my mother passed away unexpectedly, and she's had guardianship of my son since 2022. My aunt kidnapped my son and gave him to the state of Georgia, and pretty much my son got sent out to Texas against, like, they acted like my son, like I wasn't around, or that my son was an orphan, and that's what I'm fighting with now. And it's like I had no say at all. So and I do know that you are correct about the whole funding thing, because Boston has to, since they're the sending state, they also have to approve the ICPC. Like, you have to get the approval from Michigan, and that's what sucks, because that's what I'm facing right now. They did a home study? Well, you said the judge approved it, but I don't understand why you don't have consent.
The home study's done, and he has approval from the judge.
And so
the only thing I got in my back pocket is that the judge has to make Massachusetts move their feet.
Right. And on your court, on the order that it states, is there any, like, have you read word for word on it? Because they can always try to sneak something in there, that we may have overlooked. So I would definitely go back over that, the order that says that 19 days she was supposed to be in Michigan, because something right there is holding it up for Tennessee for some reason. I don't know if maybe a family member stepped up or why they would, because they are supposed to search for a family member, but why, if you gave them your mom.
What the case told me is, she said that the judge granted me an expedited interstate compact for Michigan.
Right.
Not for Tennessee.
Right.
But my mother came up here to the court hearing, and she was in the lobby, and the judge knew, and my mom talked to my attorney and things. They granted my mother the expedited interstate compact for Michigan. It had nothing to do with Tennessee. This is DCM trying to push Tennessee, because Tennessee have 2 people in the household. But what I have in my favor is my father, there's no biological certificate and there is no DNA. This is hearsay, and DCF is not aware of that. So the interstate compact goes to the next of kin, and that's my mother-in-law
right.
in Michigan.
And that's true. And that's
My
Michigan.
daughters don't have
That's
any,
Michigan.
relationship to the family in Tennessee because they're not my biological parents.
Well, I think I was going to say, you have an attorney. It sounds like a good attorney, which is really great. You have the judge sign the expedite order. You have a Michigan approved. You just got to rely on those documents and present them to anybody that has any questions.
And with him having an expedited,
the interstate compact isn't going to work unless there was no relatives at all available.
Well, there is a relative. There's your mother.
Yeah, in Michigan, right?
Well, I'm talking about the one from Tennessee that they're trying to push.
I wouldn't worry about the welfare in Tennessee because that was on the table. You're the biological father. Your wife is dead, I'm sorry to say. And you are the biological father. You're the biological parent. You have your rights. Your educational and your medical rights have not been taken. You still have full rights with your daughter.
He's on the right.
Where she goes.
They're trying to get him discombobulated, like get you overwhelmed to where you get. Go ahead.
Doesn't make any difference if you're a resident or not a resident. You are in their jurisdiction. You're working with them. Residency has nothing to do with it.
That's because it happened in there.
It has nothing to do with the price of rice in China.
It's because it happened. The incident happened in their county, and where it happened in their state.
If it happened in Boston, but you use
so
the
they
ICPC,
have jurisdiction.
You use the ICPC, and then you've got agreement. You've already got that approved by the judge to transport them, to expedite them to Michigan.
And that's signed off by a judge, so you can even get an emergency hearing back in front of a judge.
Pick them up and transport them from Massachusetts to Michigan. That's the ICPC's responsibility, not the Boston, Massachusetts CPS.
There's certain people that they're assigned to certain parts of the DFCS or CPS that they're supposed to do. There's people that are over foster care. There's people over ICPC. There's people over just casework, like in their own jurisdiction. But what I would do is I would, since they're going against a court order, I would definitely get an emergency hearing back in front of that judge, like ASAP. And that's what I mean, you do have that to, I mean, you got a set in stone court order that says 19 days, she's supposed to be in Michigan, and it's not being done, and they're going against that. And I would request a motion for an emergency hearing again, like a review.
Can I do that?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
In California, it's called a 388. In Maine, it's 388. It's a motion that you can petition the court, and they have to have the hearing within 30 days.
That's right. And in his case, they have that with the ICPC. He can get one within before 72 hours because they're going against the court order.
She just says you can get one with the ICPC within 72 hours.
I have to look. I forgot what the.
And a court hearing?
Yeah, emergency hearing with ICPC.
Because they're going against a court order. You have the court order that says so many.
See, ICPC has possession of your daughter right now.
Right. And there's certain caseworkers that handle.
They're the ones that. Well, I have a phone number here. Let me see if I can find them. I mean, you just look them up for your area. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, hold on.
Because the people that you're like that, the people in that are like the caseworker that first started all this, she don't know nothing. Like it's out of her. I mean, it's like she's the people with ICPC. When that got granted to go, it's supposed to go to ICPC and then their daughter to Michigan, where it was your mother, and that they're blocking that out for some reason for Tennessee. Well, I would bring that to that judge's attention because apparently the judge is not aware of that. And they're just making their own choices. And that's what happened with my situation. Like who had jurisdiction to place my son with my aunt for 2 months and then send him, So I would definitely request and get a emergency hearing back in front of the same judge that granted that court order. Because that is a legal signed document and noted, and that's the court's findings, and that's what they're supposed to abide by. And I'm sorry you're going through this, because I understand the ICP. I mean, it's crazy, because I've
never reached out to me to find that out. That's why I had to get rid of him. I
Well,
couldn't get a hold of him.
right.
The court-appointed attorneys are a joke. They're a joke.
They work for them before they work for us. Like, they have an and that's what sucks, because mine didn't. Like, I understand how you feel with that. I can relate with that very well. Like, I had nothing submitted to the courts or anything. It looked like I just abandoned my kid, and I never did. They went by a hearsay from a family member that just hates my guts, you know. And it's sad that people would do this to our children, you know.
Of my area.
Okay, you're in Massachusetts,
That's what we were
right?
looking up. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, I'm looking it up. Boston, Massachusetts. Hold on.
I would even do, let's see, Michigan too. Let's see.
Well,
it should be for both. I have the number. Let's see.
well, I have it here. I haven't seen the phone number yet. Hold on. Okay.
This is Florida. Here we go.
You found it?
Massachusetts. Well, I found Michigan's. I found the state one.
Well, here's Massachusetts. Here's the phone number. You ready? You ready for Massachusetts? It's 617 748 2000. 2000. And they're only work Monday through Friday from 8:45 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time.
And then here's the one for Michigan.
Now here's the one for Michigan.
Well. Whenever you're ready, Frederick.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, for Michigan, they work Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time, and the number is 517-335-4256, and that's the Michigan ICPC. And I would contact both of them first thing Monday and get both sides on it, and at least they can meet in the middle and see what's going on with this, because apparently there's something holding it up, and that's just wrong. Because
the interstate came back already. Massachusetts has. They're just
and that's quick, and that's awesome. And they're just lollygagging along, because like they were supposed to have my son back in Georgia back in November, and he should have been home even after Easter. And my aunt, she's been helping me with this, and she passed everything and the home study and all, and he's still out in Texas.
Her problem is her son turned 18. Well, her son turned 18 during this process.
18 while
so now she has another kink in her getting her son.
Mm-hmm. And I'd also found out that when you're dealing with two jurisdictions, both of them have to approve. Like when they sent my son out to Texas, Texas has to approve for him to come back to Georgia. And that's what the next dilemma is. And it sucks that has to happen.
So what you want to do, do with the Massachusetts and the Michigan ICPC.
Yes. Just bring them to both of their attention so they both can work and see what the problem is of holding this up, because you do have a court order that states that, yes, that it's approved, it's good to go. Why is the kid still in Boston? That's what I'd be questioning. And you're on the right track. You are. And just don't give up and don't lose hope.
Yeah. Frederick, Connie, could you pause for one moment? I need to talk to Cindy Richard, who texted in. And she says that they've stopped all visits with her kids. Her youngest was 3 months. Now she's 4 years old and almost now, and not seen her one time since they took them. So Cindy, are you still here with me? Are you still here with me, Cindy? Stand by, Frederick. I will get back to you. So, Cindy, if you're still there, we will try to help you on your case.
And you see, he also said her court-appointed attorney got fired for several charges of misrepresentation, and she's had 9 different case managers. Wow.
Wow, that is tough.
That's and did you see where Athena from Utah?
No, I haven't seen Athena from Utah. Let me see.
Uh, they took my two babies, 4 months and 2 years old. They had no reason to take my babies away from me like that. They had me move out of my home with them, and I live in my truck. So they took her children, and she's homeless now. Wow.
Now, being homeless doesn't mean it's a crime.
No,
Mm-mm.
that's no reason for them to take.
Athena's from Utah. They took
That's
her two babies,
yep.
4 months and 2 years. They had no reason to take them away from me like that. They had me move out of my home and with them, and now I live in my truck.
In my
Why did they
Yeah,
make you move
that's
out of
weird.
your home? What else, Frederick, can we help you with? What else can we help you with, Frederick?
Yeah, heck, man, I had to move out of my place to do van life to pay for my attorney fees, man.
Yeah.
You know, so I get it. And
Right.
that's the best thing I did with this case, to hire a real DCF
Attorney.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. That's my rule number
One
one
that'll fight for
is you
you.
need a professional attorney that will fight for you. Somebody that does family law, dependency law, juvenile, that's
Right.
a fighter of the CPS system.
An aggressive one that'll fight for you.
Yeah,
Not
aggressive
I'm still
one.
going to have
Yeah.
my mother-in-law file that motion to intervene to
Yes.
get access to the case.
Right.
So DCF
Yes.
can't push her out the way.
Right, because that's exactly what they're doing, and my aunt is having to, because they were never contacted from the beginning when they got my son, and they're supposed to prevent foster care. That's what is in their that's nationwide. But they failed to make reasonable efforts, and it sounds like that's what they're trying to do. But something with Tennessee is got their attention with someone that with your family, a non-family member how did they know about the Tennessee person? People, your stepdad or your dad,
My stepfather's wife, she wants custody of my daughter. I already know what that is.
and that's probably what's holding. And that right there is probably the dilemma. Something with that is holding up. Yes, and because I exactly can say yes. And I would find out how she has so much say and pull to prevent. What are they making allegations against you? What else have they fed? Have they fed them? What am I saying? Have they provided them with?
I know they're working against you, but that's why I hired an attorney. And
good job. Good.
Right now, Massachusetts have temporary custody of my daughter, and they can't just strip me of my.
And they're working with Tennessee.
But the one thing I do have, my daughter has a big support system in Michigan with uncles
and that's a good thing.
And her grandparents. So
that's awesome.
Yep. So they can do all they want in Tennessee. It's not going to happen.
Right.
No, you got a court order. You got a court order, and now we've given you the phone numbers of the two ICPC, and you're gonna make those calls on Monday.
And then get back in front of that same judge, and
then try
they can be held liable
for that. Talk to them. You want to have a hearing. You want to have them because you have that court order from the judge that says they are expedited to Michigan.
Because it sounds like the people in Tennessee have made more allegations against him. That's trying to bring more attention.
I think what's happened is the people in allegations
in my case
are doing the layman approach and allegations. I hate that because people can lie on the phone. They should make it in writing. They should sign their name when they make allegations. I can guarantee it'd be a lot less allegations because lay people, which are family, relatives, friends, will use that to gain access to your children for whatever needs. I had the same thing in my case.
Yeah, and that little girl, she would have already been in Michigan if that wasn't and I can somebody because that's what happened to me, and my son was like. I mean,
I'm trying to help out Athena and Cindy as well as Connie. I'm trying to help out Cindy and Athena. What can we do to help you,
Are they?
Athena and Cindy? I need more
They?
information so we can help you. We want to help you. We care about what's going on. Athena in Utah and Cindy. Oh boy, I forgot what state she's in. She's in.
Cindy's in Kentucky, ain't she? No.
No, I don't think she's
Or
in Kentucky.
Florida. Orlando,
Florida, yeah.
Florida.
She's down there near Orlando, Florida. Right.
Inverness, yeah.
Yeah. So Cindy,
And
if you're
Athena's in
listening to
Utah.
us, Athena, if you're listening to us, please text us some more information. Also, Frederick, Connie, is there anything more we can help you with?
So back to that motion to intervene. What I was told was it's very important to get that file before 90 days. See,
right,
because or the court-appointed attorney.
Time is of the essence when you get a defects case.
Well, you can file it tomorrow on Monday. You can file it Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the sooner the better.
Yep.
And there's several ways. ICPC will help you. Also, you can file it in the court as a petition to modify the current plan, or have some new evidence, or you have some new stuff there. You can enter it in there. You can contest it. Your attorney will know what I'm talking about. In California, it's called a 388. In Maine, it's called a 388. Some states, it's called a 388. But in Massachusetts, it's a motion to amend the current plan, a petition.
Right.
And you file it with the judge, with that clerk. You got to make sure that all parties are served. The social worker attorneys, besides the courtroom, you have to file with the courtroom. But the children's attorney, she'll have an attorney too. They all got to be filed.
Does his daughter have a guardian ad litem yet, or is it just a caseworker?
Right now, his daughter is custody of the Massachusetts CPS.
But so she's in
they have
temporary
appointed
foster
her.
home.
They have appointed her attorney. She has an attorney.
Okay, so she does have
It's all anytime that you have a case open in court, the court automatically appoints a children's attorney, and usually that attorney is bad news because the attorney isn't for fairness.
And that's what the guardian. That's what we call it's guardian ad litem. They're supposed to be the voice for your child, and they're supposed to look out for the best interest. And
they don't.
They're all about.
They don't. They're in pals with CPS. They're in friends with CPS.
That's. Have you heard anything about? Go ahead.
You cannot push my mother-in-law out of the way, nor her father and her auntie in Michigan.
Right.
No.
Right.
You can't push them out.
No. They're going to try to. They will try to, but you can't let them. You stay on. Y'all stay on.
You guys stay on it every day. You got to watch this closely like a hawk.
Yep.
Because they
and you also
one little minute.
They don't tell you anything.
No, they don't.
What you need to do. Well, what you need to do is go to the director and register a complaint. They need to tell you. You can go to the director.
Go to Boston Senator.
In Boston,
in Massachusetts.
Or you can go to your mayor, your governor, your senators, your representative. You need to tell them what's going on.
It's a big thing. If
there's any kind of corruptness going on, you get your politicians involved.
Right. In Georgia here, we have...
Even though you're not a resident of Massachusetts, you can still contract the 2 senators in Massachusetts and the representatives. I don't know how many representatives that Massachusetts has. Representatives are based on population. Every state has 2 senators.
Let me see who's over. Because John Ossoff is down here in Georgia, and I know Martha Blackburn or Marsha Blackburn is one of them.
You got to sell everything you damn have. Get a paid attorney.
Oh, I know. I sold my house.
That's how the people lose their kids.
I lost my house because of that. I worked for 40 years. I lost my house.
Tell him your story, Bob. Tell him your story.
Well, my story, I've told it so many times, but it's a story of in-laws that made complaints for 5 years. And then because my parents were dying and I was taking their belongings and sorting through it and shipping it out. Because I had my parents' belongings in my home, they said that's neglect to your children, that they're in extreme danger, and they took them from the school. They weren't in extreme danger. I did not know half the stuff. I tried to fight them for a year and a half, and then I got an attorney. And my attorney was Vincent W. Davis. And that's one of my rules right now. If you want a good family law attorney who will go to all the states, he works in Southern California, but he's Northern California. He was in Oklahoma 2 weeks ago. His name is Vincent W. Davis. You can call in 888-888-6582. He'll talk to you for 30 minutes for $60 consultation. But anytime an attorney you talk to, if the first thing out of their mouth is about money, then don't pursue that attorney. That's usually a way you can tell a good attorney from a bad attorney.
Right.
Money should be the last thing that attorney talks about.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know.
Shouldn't be about money when it's about our children.
That Tennessee wasn't my biological family or my daughters.
You don't need to tell them anything. They don't need to be. That's one of the things. That's my rule number 3. You do not talk to social workers. You just use yes, no answers, and you don't let them into the home.
Everything with CPS is voluntary.
Yeah. What were you saying, Daniel?
I was asking, is it mandated that they try to place the children with relatives, though?
Yes, that's the first step.
Yes.
We have a safety meeting. They're required by law.
That's
to make you
the whole time you got that case going on.
Yeah.
The whole time that's going on, they are diligently supposed to be searching for family members that can and are more willing to take the children. That is where they failed. Right.
If they're
he's
native
got family,
Indian
and they're totally refusing that.
Right. If they're native Indian children, there's something called ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act, that will protect them. And what CPS has to do is, if they are a member registered of a tribe or could be registered of a federal recognized tribe, then CPS must turn the children over to the tribe, and the tribe will put them with Indian families.
Right.
And I only brought that out there because some of my listeners are Native American Indians, the first immigrants that came to North America. Our heritage is based on immigrants, and even though we're born here, we're all natives. We're all Native Americans. We're born here.
Right.
We just have different ethnic backgrounds. I haven't heard from Athena or Cindy Richards. If you're out there listening to me, please type in something I can help you out with. Not to fret. I don't want you to give up there.
Frederick, what I do want you to look out for on any of your court orders that I've faced when I'm dealing with the out-of-state thing is a thing called nunc pro tunc. It's now before then. With you having the situation with Tennessee family.
Yeah, you got to spell that slowly. It's a Latin word that's used in law. And go ahead, say it again.
All right, let me get my pen.
It's okay.
Can you spell it for me?
Yes, it's N-U-N-C.
Wait a second. It's N-U is the first word.
Nemo.
N-U is the first word.
N-C.
N-C.
And then N-C.
And
Space.
N-C?
Yeah. Well, no, it's just 4 letters. N-U-N-C.
N-U-N-C. 4 letters.
I don't know how to join this chat.
N-U.
Yes, and then space P-R-O.
P-R-O.
And then P-R-O as pro. And then T as in Tom, U as in umbrella, N as in Nemo, and C as in cat. Wish I can join
Okay,
this.
so I got NUNCPROTUNC.
Is that right,
Yes.
Daniel? Okay. That's a Latin
It's
word where they go back and they
yeah, I
change
set it
the
under the
date
private
of
chat because I don't know
something.
how to join that. And that's right. Yeah, and what you want to do is make sure, like, that's why when we were emphasizing earlier about making sure to stay on top of them, you don't want to give them no leverage, no free time, no nothing. Stay on your toes with them, because they will try to sneak that in there where it's a now before then. They'll try to say, and with you dealing with Tennessee and them family members, it's kind of like my situation where they try to sneak stuff in these court orders. And you've even got that one finalized, but they can always try to go back and backdate something that says, like, with these, because I guarantee that your mother or whoever she is in Tennessee is saying things since she's wanting your daughter, because I'm going through the same thing with my kids, and they will try to put information in these court orders that's not true, but they'll try to backdate it under the nunc pro tunc, under in the courts, when really that's supposed to be used for clerical error, not judicial error. So they'll try to say that something happened back then and it needs to be filed, instead of, but really it either never happened at all, or it happened at a way later date. And that's where they get
And
a
that's
lot
spelled
of
again.
people.
That's spelled
And
again.
with you
Capital NUNC, first word, second word, pro, PRO, third word, TUNC, tunk.
yes,
Nuck, pro, tunk.
because
And it's a Latin word that means
and
now for
always
then.
look. You'll never believe what I discovered today. I was looking back on some of my court orders, and when a judge signs these things, make sure there's a seal and it states who he is, because that's also another big thing. Like, there's no room for error on these court orders. And that's where they try to cover themselves, and then next thing you know, they're putting information in there. You don't want to leave no open ends for them to, no room for screw up, and that's where they'll try to sneak stuff in. And with you having that Tennessee thing going on and them now not talking to you or nothing, that's what I would stay on top of them. And you're on the right track, you are. And just, hit him even harder, because it's sad that they.
Can I go down to juvenile court Monday and get my court orders and a copy of my case?
Yes, you go to the clerk.
Yeah.
You go to the
Yes.
the clerk of your court.
Yes, you can.
And they will charge
Yes.
you per page unless you're low income,
Yes.
and then it's free.
That's fine.
Right. But yes, you have full right. You can
You
get
have
all
full
that
right.
stuff.
It's public. You can do it. You identify them with your
yes.
driver's license, and they will provide it to you.
Okay, so I need to ask for my case and what else?
And if they don't,
Well,
you can
give the case number, and you say you like all court documents from start to now, to the present.
Oh, okay.
all minute orders, court orders, final orders,
And
any
it's all
notes,
the court
anything.
orders anything about
Any
your
case.
case, because it may be 3 inches thick, or my case it was 12 inches thick.
Right.
There's over 5,000 pages or
Same
something.
here.
It's ridiculous.
Good. You got to see my 3-ring
You
binder.
have to give it to
I got
you.
one of the big ones. It's yes, they cannot deny. And then don't let them give you the runaround either that they don't have it, or.
Hey, let me ask you this. I went to my visit Tuesday, and there was an armed police officer there for my visit.
What was he doing there?
Why would they do that?
What was he doing there?
Why
He was there to monitor me.
Right. Are they supervised?
Is that your business?
I mean,
They had him at my supervised visit with the caseworker with my daughter.
At your place of employment?
No, at my visit, where I go to the center to visit my
Oh,
daughter.
to visit your daughter. Okay, yeah, okay. They want to make sure you don't run off with your daughter.
So like your.
Well, here's what it is. They're probably beefing it
Mm.
up because they think that you may take your daughter and run.
They're trying to
I
get
would
you to
never
act
do that.
out
Yeah, but the
in
way
ways
they are.
that
See,
they're
as
playing.
I fought them, they got worse and
They
worse in
instigate a
time.
lot.
At first, I could see my children without a monitor. Then I had to have a monitor. Then I had to go to a
Mhm.
special place to see my daughter. My wife and I had to
Oh,
go
wow.
to this room that was very, very demeaning. I know what they do.
Mine's
It's
over.
called part of their.
Mine's over
It's
a video,
intimidation.
and it's
Intimidation.
That's what I. Yeah, it's intimidation. You want to know
right
something?
and
They really
instigate
don't have anything on me because I'm doing my
and like
reunification services.
Right,
I'm
right,
doing it.
right.
I'm doing everything they asked me to do.
reunification. Right.
And that's what you should be
And they're
doing.
still trying to instigate you and push you and right. I mean, I see my son over a video, and then they still have to supervise the tablet. Like, and then my son couldn't have his own tablet. Like, and my son's 18. He's an adult, and they still supervise
But he has special
the visit
needs.
over
That's
a
why your
video. Like,
daughter, her son has
it's
special needs. And so she's trying to become the caretaker of her son.
This is
Right.
crazy, man.
Well,
and they're trying to make
that son was being
and it's all
transferred
because
when
of
he was under the
hearsay.
age of 18, and then they lost him. Now they
Mhm.
found him. He's over 18,
Yep.
but he's in a different state.
Right. All based on
Hey, let me
hearsay.
ask you: if you're in a different state, how do they do overnight visits?
Well, they'll probably do it on a monitor. I
What do
mean,
you mean?
are you there that you can see him face to face? Or are you too far away?
A video?
Well, if they send my daughter to Michigan, and
Well,
I get to the point where I
It
get
would
to
be a
overnight visit,
video.
how would that work?
Well, you could do a video.
Okay.
Video.
I mean, I would think that your mother would allow a video of her and the child with you.
Right.
No problem with that.
Oh yeah, my mom. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, my mother-in-law is working with me. She
You,
just wants.
you know,
She wants my daughter.
your mother.
She don't want to take my daughter from me.
You know what? You know what your mother would need, like kind of like my mother did back in 2011, file for temporary guardianship of your daughter. That's what in the courts after my mom got granted it, the courts were never involved, and neither was DFCS.
Can I do that with? Okay, can I do that with DCF still having temporary custody?
No,
Yes, you
because
can. Yes, you can.
well, yeah, you can. But I'm saying is that I thought the
Mhm.
child is going to go to Michigan.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm saying. She can file for it in Michigan, right?
yes,
You can.
yes, she can.
Yes, you can.
Because your whole point is to get DFCS or CPS out of the picture. You don't want them involved in your life. So that's what we did in 2011 is my mom filed for temporary guardianship of my son, and that you don't need no help or anything from DCF.
DCF had shipped her son to another state when he was under the age of 18.
But now say that again. What?
He asked, does DCF still has your son?
They have custody right now.
Guardianship, did DCF already have your child?
If you filed
DCF
for
never
guardianship,
had
DCS never had her
they
child.
did no. But you can file, because that's actually what I'm going through right now for my son is we're having to file adult guardianship. They filed.
She's filing
and that's
adult
what they're going to try
guardianship.
to do. And y'all stay on that. And I'm filing for adult guardianship, and that's going to not, because really all it is about the services, and if you need help from them, but otherwise it's about the funding. It's all about money. And if you can prove to the courts, and your mother can prove to the courts that you're more than willing, and she's more than willing, and y'all agree that it's okay that your daughter be there and you've already got the ICPC. There is no reason for Boston or even them to be involved, because I did that and everything was fine for 12 years. And I don't see why they, so I would definitely file for it or nothing. Like, because that's what we did before we went to the courts, and the judge approved it.
Should she file for temporary guardianship in Massachusetts or Michigan?
I would say, and since she's in Michigan, I would say in Michigan, where the home state is. And but
once your child is gone to Michigan, she would file in Michigan for temporary guardianship.
Right. And that would also be something I would say to your lawyer.
Isn't that where she's at? Isn't that where your daughter's going?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, listen, my daughter is in Boston right now with a temporary family with DCF.
Right.
Can I go with my mom and give her?
And she's in temporary custody of them, right?
Michigan, and DCF has to accept that.
Well, yeah, but see, the child's going to be shipped to Michigan first. You got to get them out of this.
Oh, that's what I'm asking.
You got to get them out of their hands. You got to get them out of the CPS away from the foster home.
And he can go to Massachusetts and him and his mom and fight it there and file for in the probate court for temporary guardianship. But when you get back in front of that judge, get your mom there with you when you get that emergency hearing to bring it to their attention about the ICPC, since you've already had it granted. And that's what I would bring up to them, that, hey, I'm willing to, and we came to this, and have the paperwork ready when you go in front of them. And that would be a good, because you might have to file in Massachusetts, since they do have, like you said, temporary custody, right?
Yeah, but the judge made an order with ICPC to transfer the children, transfer his daughter,
right,
expedite to Michigan. So that's the new order.
But there's still a dilemma holding that up. But Tennessee, there's still a dilemma. Like somebody's throwing. It sounds in hush hush like.
I'm gonna file my mother for temporary guardianship in Massachusetts.
Okay.
With my daughter, they have to accept that.
Right, they do.
Right, and you've already got the ICPC approved, so there's no and they like to. Then you're part of a reunification case, so there's your reunification right there, and you could still complete your services and stuff, but it will. Yeah, because that's what it totally got the judge even said that there was no reason for DFCS to be involved. Because
I'm going to have to.
You found the best.
Close the show tonight because we're running out of time. I'm not trying to chase anybody away, but we have less than a minute left. I want to thank you first, Frederick Connie, for taking the time to share your case. I hope that you got what you want. I want you to know that you can call me anytime during my show times. My next show is tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. If you're on the East Coast, it's 3 hours ahead of that. It's 11 o'clock. But my next show is tomorrow morning.
Hey, let her come back on the show with you, because her information is really helping me out.
She will be.
I really appreciate it.
She is my co-host. So if she can make it, Danielle will be there tomorrow. And so I want to thank you. I want to thank Athena from Utah. That you talked a little bit, but I don't know what happened. And then Cindy Richards from Florida.
I will be.
I want to thank your information. Please come back. And again, I want to thank all the people that call in and give the hearts and thumbs up and so forth. And again, thank you, Danielle, for being my co-host on tonight's show. And I'll see you all tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Standard Time.
No problem.
God bless you all. This is Bob Pace and Danielle signing off.